Thanks for staying with us. Let's start with the nation. IG orders probe of siege to Odili's Abuja home. Depot owners raise petrol liter price by 9 naira. Buhari, Biden, others seek end to carbon emissions. Elumelu, we've trained 1.5 million young Africans. Fantastic. Minister, government owes 774,000 jobs beneficiaries 7.3 billion. Fracas at House of Assembly over Speaker's removal. 4 die in collapsed 22-story Ikoyi, Lagos building. Lawsuit begins LASA treatment for kidney stones. Governors can't control PDP. Who has a story?
Yeah, so the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, at the defense of his ministry's budget, was being asked questions by senators concerning the 774,000 jobs, that were given. You remember those jobs for 3 months that were given 1,000 from each local government in every state. So the issue is that many of the beneficiaries are still being owed money. In fact, the amount is 7.3 billion naira that hasn't been paid to them yet. So in explaining, he said one of the things is that the banks, he said it's a bank issue. So one of the senators was saying that, like in his state, in Katsina State, some of the banks that they had written down for these beneficiaries to go and collect their money, they don't even have that branch in their state.
Wow.
The Minister for State tried to explain. He said that for accounting purposes and auditing purposes, they had to pick a particular
commercial bank.
Yes. But eventually they had gone and they've changed it so they're able to go to banks that are local to them. They also talked about, well, for me, it's sad that this is something that is very closely handled by the federal government, and we still have issues of people not collecting their payments and not getting their payments. This should be done so seamlessly, because
the money is
sort of, you're right there, you're involved. But they said that, well, it's with CBN, it's CBN that is supposed to send out these monies.
What do they
have
mean
been
by
approved,
bank
and so
the IGP has ordered a probe into the raid on Justice Odili's house. They say the warrant was issued by a magistrate. They haven't told us who the magistrate was, because I read through his story thinking I would see who the magistrate was. The police have denied it. DSF have denied it. Everybody, in fact, everybody has denied the raid.
Wow.
So it's by unknown government operatives, I guess.
Unknown.
They got
gunmen.
Unknown men. Unknown DSS.
Wow.
Anyway, they've all denied, and it's being condemned by a lot of senior advocates of Nigeria. Femi Falana, Yemi something. Let me get his name. Let me not say Yemi something. Yemi Akinsheye George. But that it's not done.
It's unacceptable,
it's
really.
It's unacceptable.
We should be able to have names to hold accountable for things like this.
I mean, it's just amazing that everybody is denying the raid on her house.
Well, so lawsuit begins laser treatment for kidney stones. Lawsuit, that's the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. They said they gained, once again led public institutions, health institutions, and successfully performed their first laser lithotripsy on October 28th. So this is like a non-surgical way of, getting out the kidney stones from the urinary tract infection. So they don't have to open you up to carry this out. They were able to do it, and it's been successful. And according to, I think I want to get his name, the professor of urology, he's saying that the treatment will save patients the pain of going through surgery, and also it will cut down costs. So when you travel outside the country to carry out such, you know how much you're going to pay. And even compared to private hospitals, people who now go to lawsuit to carry out this will pay less than they would have paid in private hospitals. And he went further to advise that we should try as much as possible to drink about 3 to 4 liters, 3 liters every day, and ensure we stay away from salt. But I'm worried, you eat salt.
Yes.
How do you balance it? I know you drink water.
That's a whole other conversation. But, yeah.
She's still young.
So she can eat salt, right? Okay, let's move on to the Punch. Reps probe collapse of 1.89 billion Delta Steel community fumes. Outrage grows, raid team leader, whistleblower face police panel. International airfares rise as Naira crashes on IATA platform. 10 die as 21-story building collapses in Lagos. Designer warned of tragedy. About 40 workers were on site when the building came down, says eyewitness. Developer, engineers, clients, others trapped. Sanwo-Olu orders investigation. Olukoya suit. Fined blogger to publish guilt judgment. Faces jail threats. Ogun issues 60-day ultimatum to unvaccinated residents. Plans office. Transport ban. EFCC picks up Obi Kobana, alleges money laundering, tax fraud. Amateku begins interstate patrols to tackle kidnapping orders. Monarch denies villagers killed customs men. Residents flee Ogun community. Fuel queues resurface in Nasarawa, Abuja, Niger. Marketers hike price. What do we have in the Punch?
The residents of the Fagbon village in Yewa South, they fled their community because the custom allegedly the operatives of the customs raided there because 2 customs officers were killed. So they raided there. They burnt the house. They burnt houses. They raided the monarch's house as well. Burnt motorcycles. Oh, wow. So the residents have fled. The customs are denying that it was them, that it was unknown. Oh, no. This country is full of
unknown people.
Aliens from
unknown everything.
So it is not them, but the residents are, have fled. They say it was people who the customs were looking for.
Smugglers? Or?
Yeah, smugglers. When they came in,
they started shooting. Yeah, I think it's still the same story we've been talking about, where some villagers now started asking the federal government to pay them some money in compensation.
I don't know if it's the same story.
Yeah,
it's
almost the same story of smugglers, the NCS fighting smugglers and then killing people by mistake. Yeah. So Miriam, which story?
Yes, so the High Court of Justice in the United Kingdom has ordered a blogger, Ms. Maureen Badejo, they say to begin publication of a summary judgment entered against her in favor of the founder of Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries International, Mr. Daniel Olukoya, and his wife, Folashade. So the court has ordered her the blogger, to pay £65,000 to the cleric and £35,000 to the wife in damages.
Wow.
And the verdict that was given to her, she needs to make sure she broadcasts it on all her channels, her YouTube, her Facebook, all her social media channels, where she had put the initial story that she was being sued for. And they said that failure to do that would mean that she's in contempt of the court and she'll be fined or locked up in jail. So we need to be careful what we put out there. There are consequences for everything. So if you're a blogger, you're whatever.
Verify your story.
Verify your stories. Yes, this is in England.
She will pay the price.
Wow.
She will pay the price.
When do we get to that point where we can have this instituted in Nigeria?
Yeah, then in Abuja, the chief of staff to the president, Professor Gambari, has said the State House Clinic will take care of the sitting. They've done 21 billion naira budget for the State House. So it's going to take care of the sitting president and visiting.
And his deputy.
And
visiting president.
And some staff of the State House.
Yes.
So I was listening to the radio today, and one of the commentators said, all the presidents coming here are sick.
Well, maybe
for treatment.
Like those who travel from their countries to other countries, maybe they will travel from their country to
Nigeria now. So maybe we should be expecting.
It's a clinic, not a hospital, though.
Maybe it's a special.
We'll be expecting the American government now, president now, to come for treatment. But we'll continue the newspaper reviews after this break. Stay with us.
YK.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So Miriam had another
story. So in Ogun State, the governor of Ogun State has issued a 60-day ultimatum to all unvaccinated residents of the state. He says that if within the 60-day window they do not get vaccinated and get their vaccination cards, they'll be unable to go into offices, schools, go to their market, get into taxis, get on keke. So he's giving everyone within the state 60 days to make sure that they get vaccinated. That's just the long and short of the story.
Does he have enough vaccination?
Oh, yes. Okay, so he says, he says he's moved the vaccination center. They used to have 131, and now they have 159. So they've even increased the number of centers.
That's vaccination centers. Do they have enough vaccines?
They haven't told us they don't have enough now. So let's start the vaccination.
Just start, go.
If it stops somewhere, then we know.
It will now be on them and not on you that you didn't know.
We've done something. So let's move on to the Vanguard. Plateau, embattled speaker, 10 loyalists arrested. Anambra, talks with IPOP crucial, says Soludo, Uba, Ozigbo. Nigeria's worst military regime, better than APC-led government, says Autumn. Editors urge government to create safe, enabling environments for journalists. Consultant ignored on collapsed 21-floor tower in Lagos. EFCC arrests Obi Kubana over money laundering. Pay our benefits, disengaged dock workers tell Intels. NSAS, panel orders police to release cops detained for 561 days. Court orders federal government to pay Delta $1.638 billion derivation arrears. Abiodun gives Ogun residents 60 days to get COVID-19 vaccine. We've taken that. New State House Clinic will take care of presidents visiting dignitaries and others. Gambari, we've taken that. We're in touch with security agencies to find Vanguard reporter Baja. What stories do we have in the Vanguard?
Okay, so in Plateau State, remember I took a story of a speaker being impeached and another one being installed and the one being impeached, suspending the new one. So anyways, the the impeached speaker, Honorable Nuhu Abok Ayuba, went to the House about 6 a.m., they said, with about 11 other members, to have their meeting in his office. And they said while they were there, the other lawmakers who were suspended also found their way there, and things broke out before it degenerated into real fist fight. They said the security operatives arrived there and sort of calmed things down. Then they took an 8-man committee and they went to meet the governor, and they were there. And then while the other impeached speaker was still in the assembly with those 11 members that he was with, at about around 3 p.m., the security operatives came and took them and put them into Hilux vans.
Wow.
Reporters were there and were asking questions. Even the member representing Lantang South was like, well, just know that they're taking us to an unknown destination. We don't know where we're going. They asked the speaker, are you being arrested? The speaker says, I cannot tell you if I'm being arrested, but I'm being taken away. So that is it on that matter. And, of course, there are people on both sides of the divide who feel, who are loyalists to the impeached speaker and some on the other side. But they said that the police and security operatives had to use tear gas to, disperse people who were already coming together. They said they even alleged that some of them had weapons.
Wow.
Well, not weapons, like really, maybe like, what do you call them? Yes, like those sort of.
But what I want to know is, because they went to the governor, what is the concern of the governor with the House? This is what we're saying, that there is no
autonomy.
You have no business going to the governor. You are the speakers. You are even the lawmakers. What are you going to the governor to settle your fight for? Settle it inside the House now.
And move on. Anyway, the Lagos representatives of over 600 disengaged dock workers yesterday stormed Vanguard's corporate head office, protesting unpaid benefits by the Integrated Logistics Service Limited, Intels. They lamented that 20 of them had died while waiting for their terminal and other benefits. About 600 of them, they said they carried their placards, they were protesting and asking that the federal government does not give Intel any other contract if they don't settle them. So they said that, according to their spokesperson, they said that they've worked with stevedoring companies before their appointments were disengaged, and they started this work since 2005 to 2018 when they were disengaged, and yet there are no benefits that have been given to them, and most of them are dying. So they are asking that the federal government, waits into this, that they should not give Intel any other contract till they are paid. And I hope that the government should listen and hear them out and pay them their money. Let's move on to the Sun. Soludo and Uba fight dirty at Anambra Guba debate. Police arrest, release Plateau Speaker, 11 lawmakers. Intervene and save democracy. Embattle legislatures beg Buhari. Residents protest. PDP ready to rescue Nigeria autumn. IGP orders probe into invasion of Odili's residents. Aviation handlers threaten strike over NAS embargo on the new NCAA rates. Editors task government on safe enabling environment for journalists. What story do we have?
So editors had marked the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists today. And so the Nigerian Guild of Editors called on the Nigerian government, to make sure that it does everything to create an enabling environment for journalists to do their jobs. They have said that it's important that journalists do not feel as if they are being gagged, or else it would affect, how information and news is being disseminated. And they also made they brought up instances where, journalists and journalism had sort of been attacked. They talked about the TVC, our premises that was burnt on the 21st of October last year. They talked about an Arise television cameraman that was attacked October 11th. There's also a Vanguard reporter who's been missing. He used to be attached to the, he was attached to the House of Reps. His name is Mr. Salem, and he hasn't been seen in a few weeks. So those are the things, that they brought up. Many things over the years that shows that, the environment is not really protective and enabling of journalists to do their jobs freely. Yeah. So they're asking government to do better when it comes to that. Okay, so domestic aviation group ground handlers are set to embark on an indefinite strike, which will be starting on November 5. According to them, it's over the reversal of the increase in cargo charges by the House of Representatives. So they are saying that the House has no, the House is not supposed to be involved when it comes to this, because they are trying to follow international best practices, and they have not changed this, they've not increased this cargo rate since for over 36 years now. They plan the first increment to happen for domestic aircrafts 1st of October, and then for international flights, they're going to be having, theirs will be starting January 1st. But right now, that's in 2022. But right now, the House of Reps is intervening in this, and it will not, according to them, they said they will not be able to face their international counterparts, because every airline charges is supposed to be in, there's this body that regulates what is obtainable across the world. And so it will make them look like Nigeria is a country that they don't take things seriously. So they should leave them to carry out their increments. Let's move on to, I think, our final paper for today, the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune. Special report, foreign exchange variation boosts CEO's salary amid company's poor performance. The Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune. IGP orders probe of invasion of Abuja residence of Justice Odili. Obi Kobana in EFCC custody. YK will take that. 21 billion new state house clinic to care for visiting heads of state. Senators grill Keyamo over allowance for beneficiaries of 774,000 jobs. I think that's all the story we have here today. Do we have any other story? Masop insists Anambra election must hold. Which story do we have?
I thought we had agreed you were taking the Kubana story.
Before I will get it out of here, okay, I've seen it. So the EFCC arrested the socialites, Ubina Iyebu. We know him as Obi Kobana, and he's being questioned right now, and he's at the commission's headquarters in Abuja. I think the details are not really, they're a bit sketchy, but I think it borders on money laundering. But by the time they are done, we'll likely get the full details. Picture. But he said when contacted, a spokesperson of the commission said he was even yet to be briefed on the issue. So he made headlines, it was viral, everybody was talking about it. Let them tell us exactly what they are.
The way the story reads is as if he went himself, not that they went to arrest him.
So maybe he was invited and he went.
Has arrested, though. That's what the paper said.
I know, but they said he got there. They didn't say he got there in handcuffs. They said he got there. So it's as if, the way I read it, it's as if he went there.
Yeah. Yes, we missed this one. It's a fuel queues back at fuel stations. But this is mostly, I think it's Abuja, Nasarawa, Niger states. They say black marketers, of course, are out on the roads again selling fuel in jerry cans. And different people are claiming that it could be, they said the tank farm owners are hoarding fuel because it's almost the festive period. Some have said that they've increased the price from 149 to about 153, 155 per liter. So these are the reasons why. So it seems like it's a man-made scarcity. It's not real. So we'll see how they can sort out the issue.
I know diesel is going up every day. Every story of gas is going up, diesel is going up. The only thing that has remained is petrol. So.
All right, thank you, ladies. That's all we can take on the newspaper reviews. When we come back, we'll take our hot topics. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.